I'm just going to move forward in regards to the discussion. So if we go back to Science 101 of color therapy, we all know that our main energy source is the sun. Without the sun's rays, we wouldn't exist. Literally, the sun gives us the whole spectrum of color vibrational healing. From the sunlight, we get the colors broken down. And it was Sir Isaac Newton in 1666 discovered by looking through a prism that he could see the colors being distributed into the several colors of the rainbow. And this is exactly what we're talking about here, is that in the white light of the sunlight are all the colors of the rainbow. But what they don't teach you is how every color affects a different energy center in our body, and which is governed by a different endocrine gland. And this literally is the science behind color, because we know when we're in a red room, red makes us excited. It pumps up our heart rate, our blood gets more circulated, versus when we're in in a blue room, our heart rate goes down and our circulation slows down. So we know that every color affects us both physically as well as emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, which I call on an energetic level. So we know that color affects us multidimensionally, but we have to understand that in our brain, we have a pituitary gland, and it's like a prism. When we get in the light energy, what happens is our pituitary gland then takes the signals of the red light and it pushes it into our adrenals, or it supports our adrenals. The orange energy goes to our sacral center, our gonads, the yellow to our pancreas, the green energy goes to our heart, the blue goes to our throat, and in our brain, we reap the benefit of the indigo and the violet hues that stimulate our pineal and pituitary gland. So every color of light stimulates a different endocrine gland, as well as what we refer to as a chakra center. So a chakra center is literally a hub or a wheel within our body that absorbs the color frequency, and all our cells radiate biophotons. And another name I'm going to throw out there is Professor Fitz-Popp. He discovered our cells radiated a color frequency referred to as light quanta or biophotons. But also our cells are not only emitting a color frequency, they're absorbing color. So we know that color will heal every organ and gland within our body. And you know, there's a lot of books that are out there that talk about the association to color in our different endocrine glands and different body organs. As well, we have a color energy chart. And on this chart, it also gives different color-coded charts that we use to help people get educated on what color is. So through the science of color, we know that light is our main source of energy. Without sunlight, we wouldn't exist. And within the sun's rays, we have the full spectrum of electromagnetic frequencies, from radio waves to ultraviolet waves and you know, even microwaves. It's all within our electromagnetic spectrum. And right in the middle of that is the white light, or what we refer to as the colors that come from light. And with each one having an effect on us physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And when you start to learn the foundation of how color affects you, literally that's what you do, is you break it down into the different colors. We also have a concept here at Color Energy, and that concept is that we do have these different intelligence centers within our body, and each one of these intelligence centers harnesses that vibration, and it brings us the attributes of that color that we need for self-healing. So when we look at our color intelligence centers, it relates to our emotions, our thoughts, as well as our beliefs, our ideas. That all comes from our different color centers. And combined, when we use our different energy centers, it creates a feeling of enlightenment, because we're balancing our energies, we're balancing all our colors. And of course, all colors in unison then convert back to white light, which is that empowerment feeling. So it's really important that we balance all our colors, and as some may say, our chakra centers. But again, we refer to it as color intelligence centers because we understand that each one of these color centers dominates aspects of our being. So we know that the red intelligence, it is our physical body intelligence. It supports our physicality. It helps to repair our body. And on an emotional, mental level, it is our driving force. It is our motivation. It gives us our passion, our excitement in life. So people who have naturally, a strong connection to red, they are going to be the ones that are more passionate. They're going to be the ones that love life. And as you start to identify what color intelligence means, then you can start to categorize people and how they act and think through their different color centers. And wouldn't it be a wonderful world if we knew each other's colors, and when I'm speaking from my yellow, then you recognize that yellow and you put on your invisible yellow hat and you connect with me on that yellow level so we can have clear communication. But part of what happens is we communicate from different intelligence centers. So if I'm in my yellow and you're in your indigo, then we're talking two different languages. And we have to make sure that we're communicating in the same language so we don't have these errors in communication. Because the hardest thing to do in communication is to be able to express yourself based on, your color intelligence. And again, if I'm a person that is rational and trying to communicate with somebody who's more emotional and a feeling person, then obviously there can be that miscommunication. But knowing the color language, then I can talk more in regards to how I feel, or more in a sensitive level rather than just from an analytical perspective. So every color in the color energy concept denotes certain aspects of our being. So orange has a lot to do with sociability. It's the energy that is the power of now. It enjoys every minute. It's a happy energy. It stimulates a lot of emotion, and that emotion is sort of like an intuition on a physical level. Yellow is a mental energy, and it governs our processing and our abilities of deduction. So with that yellow energy, it is very much that left brain analytical energy. And on a mood level or an emotional level, it's also connected to, a level of happiness and many other attributes. I'm just sort of covering a few very quickly in a nutshell. Green energy or green intelligence, it's the energy of people, it's relationship building. It's also a peacemaking energy. It's all about love, unconditional love. Green people are very giving. They're very loving in nature, very nurturing. Whereas the blue intelligence, that's also another left brain intelligence, and it relates a lot to also our mentality and our capability of communication. And this is another area that we're lacking in, because again, if we're talking from our different color intelligence centers, then often how we're vocalizing isn't of our true blue nature. It comes from another intelligence, but our voice box is governed by the blue intelligence. So if we want clear communications, ultimately blue is the best color. And on a mental level, it's also our ability to plan and organize. Now, the indigo energy is an intuitive energy. It's also an innovative energy. I always think about inventions are that indigo energy because it's an outside of the box, thinking frequency. It's very much connected to a deep intuition, a deep understanding of life processes. It's the color of empathy. Whereas violet is the crown chakra connection, and it's open up to new ideas and thoughts. And this is why when we're connected to our violet, then we have a lot of capability of accessing new information. It's a visionary energy, very inspirational. So in a nutshell, that's sort of each color intelligence and how it interplays with our personality and our wellness. And of course, color also has that connection to our physicality. So we know the red intelligence It governs our adrenals, which is our energy for, for fight. When we don't have enough red power, then sometimes, the fear, the anxiety can creep in. Whereas when we're strong in our red, it's a very confident energy. Orange, on the other hand, it has a lot to do with our lower digestive system, as well as our organs of creation. So the ovaries as well as the testes are connected to the orange energy, and everything to do with the lower digestive system. It's also connected to our body's waterworks system. And that's why on an emotional level, when people are crying, then that is that orange intelligence being activated. The yellow center is connected to our upper digestive system. It's governed by our pancreas, but it has everything to do with our digestive system. And in Chinese medicine, it also equates to, toxicity. So we can use yellow to counterbalance any toxicity and parasites in our body. Now, the green energy is the color of balance, and it's connected to our heart chakra and our complete respiratory system. So breath is very much a part of our green energy. And this is why when we're in nature, we love being in that green forest and we can take those deep breaths and feel relaxed. The blue energy, it's connected to our thyroid gland, and it's our body's temperature gauge. As well, it has a lot to do with our weight loss or weight gain. So if you're trying to lose weight or gain weight, then you want to work with that blue energy. Our indigo and our violet energy are connected to our pineal and our pituitary gland. Our pineal gland is our master gland that governs our capability of sleep. And our pituitary gland, being a master gland, it actually is our main control center. Now, there's much more involved with every color. However, when you start to study the basics as well as venture into understanding more details about every color, then when you know all the different aspects of color and how they work physically, and what color can do to support you mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, then it's as simple as saying, oh, today I need to do some accounting. I need some blue energy because blue energy ultimately is the best color for numbers, and anything to do with finances has a lot to do with the blue energy. So then we know we need to, use our blue tools. And when I talk about blue tools or any color tools, I'm talking about an array of things, because there's so many things that help us on a color therapeutic level. And earlier I mentioned that our color energy basic home study program teaches you all the different ways that you can bring in that color energy. But in a nutshell, we understand that food contains vibrational frequency. And this is why when we, eat a certain food, or we are craving a certain food, it's because there's something in our body that needs that color vibration for some level of healing. And again, the more you're tuned into what the different foods do and, how they're connected to color, then it would make a lot more sense. But for example, when you have a bladder infection, red governs the bladder and organ. And so therefore, juniper berry is known as a food or an essential oil that can help alleviate a bladder infection. So when you start making this correlation to the different foods and the different chakras and the energy networks and everything that color encompasses, then you'll understand why you might have craving for food. But one of our main energy sources of color is through our food. Other than sunlight, food and water are like number two. And water contains all the vibrations of color. So when you're drinking water, you're getting abundance of that. Or if you're like me, you might add some herbal tea to your water. So you're there getting the benefits of the different color vibrations. So we know food is one of our main sources of color, but again, we don't often think about why we crave that food or why a food is that color frequency. But when you think about it, the sunlight shines into that colored food, and the color that gets refracted is the energy that remains in that food. So when you're craving, a banana, you're craving yellow energy. When you're craving, a pomegranate, you're craving red energy. So put some thought into your cravings and see if you can attach it to something that's going on in your life, or on a physical level that you're needing that food. Now, when we're not in the sunlight, and we're supposed to be in the sunlight 2 to 4 hours a day, and unfortunately, because most of us work during sunlight hours, then we're not getting that sunlight naturally, which contains all the color vibrations. So then we have to either, invest in natural lighting in our atmosphere, so that way we're getting natural lighting, or if we're fortunate, we have windows that are nearby that we can get some of that light energy. But certainly whenever we have a break, go out and get some of the sun rays, because then you're being blessed with all the different color vibrations. But because sometimes we're not capable of being in the sunlight, or maybe, we need a certain energy, but we can't get in our food, we've got to think about what are the different ways that we can bring in color healing. And that's what I'm going to talk about next, is some of the different things that we can do to bring in color healing. Now, one of the things that I do want to talk about, and I mentioned this in the curriculum of today's video, is that we're going to be talking about color energy and why we do what we do. Now, Inger Ness started Color Energy over 32 years ago. And she started Color Energy because she recognized we needed to empower ourselves with color, because on any given day, we need to have the different colors in our life to support us through whatever it is that we're working on. And that's why I was bringing up the example. For example, when you need to do accounting, the blue energy is an ideal way to bring it in. Now, you're not going to go out and necessarily paint your room blue, but you can use different things, like wear clothing that's blue, or use blue oils or essences, or drink, teas that are blue in nature. You bring in that blue vibration, so that way you're supported to do the accounting. But on any given day, your job might need different requirements, or maybe there's something going on, with your family dynamics. There's, a family get together, so you might need more orange because otherwise you're not as social. So by knowing about the different healing power of color, you can bring in the different tools that are going to support you. So Inger Ness, the founder of Color Energy, recognized that our daily needs would be different, and sometimes we need simple tools, because we're not going to go run out and buy ourselves, food or drink of a certain color if we need that support, but rather we can use different tools that have the different color vibrations. And what Color Energy does, or we align with people who manufacture products that are strictly one vibration. And this to me is very, very important, because if you need the red energy, then you want to use tools that are going to give you that power of the red energy, and they can't have other vibrations in it, because then what you're doing is you're lowering, the frequency of that vibration that, that you're not gonna bring in the totality of the colors. So I guess my case in point is, because I see a lot of the things that are out there, I noticed that a lot of chakra oils were tainted with different colors. So a red oil might have an orange oil in it, or a crown chakra blend might have, sandalwood, which is a red oil in it. By cross-contaminating the frequencies, you're not getting the full effect of the vibration, because the vibrations are distorted because you've now added other vibrations to the mix. And that's one of the things that Color Energy does really well, is we don't mix vibrations. So when you're picking up a bottle and, it's got gemstones in it, then the stones are matching the color frequency. So for example, in this root chakra crystallite spray, or this red spray, we've got the gemstones of red tiger's eye and red jasper in it. So we're using the stones that are of that frequency, and the oils that are in here are, the red oils that are in here are like vanilla, and we also have ylang ylang, cinnamon, benzoin, sandalwood, cocoa, blood orange. So we've put in all the oils that are of that color vibration. We're not cross-contaminating them. So when you're using a red tool made by Color Energy, it's pure of its vibration. It's not tainted with any other colors. And there's other aspects of what our company does to super embed them. So a lot of our products are additionally charged with, gemstone frequency, planetary alignment, sound therapy, all kinds of dimensions, sacred geometry. all these different vibrational forms of a specific color vibration. So again, it's been exponentially charged, not just with a color frequency, but a color frequency on multi-dimensions. And this is really important because any given day, your biorhythms can be different, meaning some days you wake up and it's like you notice everything. And then other days it's like you're walking with blinders on. Some days your sense of smell is so acute, and other days you can't smell a darn thing. You know, so because of the fact there's so many things that influence our energy, and our own biorhythms are shifting, you know, we need to work with a sensory experience to bring in the totality of the color. And another thing that we have to note is that we change our thoughts quite readily, meaning if we're changing our thoughts every few seconds, in order to start the manifestation process, or in order to supercharge us with a color frequency, we have to have a consciousness for at least 1 minute or longer. But most people only hold a thought for 3 seconds. That means from minute to minute to minute to minute to minute, we're changing our thoughts. And if we're changing our thoughts, then where's the consciousness to create the change? By using products, we focus our intention of what that product can do. So this way, we're then putting the consciousness into what we want. So for example, this is our red chakra light essence. And the way we use this, if I can open the bottle here, the way we use this is we apply the red essence to the palm of our hand, and you get really detailed instructions with our product, because we want you to learn why we make the product, how you use the product, you know, why you would use the product. So we're answering a lot of questions. So when you're using the product, you're working consciously. So by applying the product into the palm of your hand and rubbing your hands together and breathing in the essence, what you're doing is you're stimulating your sense of smell, as well as the visual aspect of looking at the red essence. Plus it's embedded with all kinds of, floral, floral waters or herbs. There's the mother essence itself is embedded with so many different dynamics of that color vibration. And then by inhaling it, what you're doing is you're stimulating your sense of smell, combined with the dimensions of that red color or whatever color you're using. So you're bringing in the vibration on multi-dimensions. Literally, we have our physical body, but we also have several layers that surround our body, and we have to penetrate all layers with a color vibration to ensure that we're getting that color on all aspects of our being. And we have to recognize that because we have several layers around our body, when we have programming, that programming can be in any layer. And when we can get to the depths of our aura, then we can manifest deeper changes. I once taught a class, and in my class, I had a naturopathic doctor who stood up and said, "Susanne, I'm at my wit's end. I've been, trying to help this woman who's been extremely sick for years, and I'm not making any progress." And I said to her, "What are you doing?" And she started telling me about how she was, supporting the client with nutrition. And then I said, "So what are you doing energetically?" And she said, "Nothing." She had to think, because it was all of a sudden she understood that she was only working physically, but you have to work energetically, multidimensionally. And a lot of tools only work physically. And how I teach about energy is the fact that when there's an expiry date on a product, meaning if you pluck an apple from a tree, you know that the nutritional value is only going to be so good for so long, because as that apple degrades, then the energetic quality of it also degrades. Similarly, with any kind of energy tool, you have to know that there are some physical tools that have an expiry date. Those physical tools primarily work primarily work on a physical level, which then affects our energy. Energy tool works with our auric and then brings the energy back into the physicality. So if we can work with energy tools simultaneously with physical tools, whether it be food or essential oils, then we're working on the multi-dimensions of our being. And then if we use products that are energetic in nature, where they've been further charged, geometrically, on a planetary alignment level, also, with other factors of, our different vibrational forms. What we're doing is we're taking a product and we're expediting the potential of it. Like a homeopathic, these products are what I actually call energy homeopathic products, because they work energetically. And again, they work multidimensionally. So that's, why to me it's important that people understand the purity of the product, because, if you're buying an apple rotten versus an apple that's just been plucked off the tree, what do you think is going to help you better? And in fact, there's one course that I teach, and it's a medical intuitive course, and I actually blindfold the students and I take them on a sensory journey so they can understand, what is conducive to their energy versus what's not conducive, because of the fact, we're so used to the quality of things the way they are, that sometimes we don't know the difference between something that's a high quality versus something that might be resonating at a lower quality. And that's why expiry dates are very important. But a lot of energy tools, you don't put an expiry date on it, because virtually there's nothing to expire in it. It's all about vibrational medicine. And once it's been embedded, and there's a whole process that is involved with alchemy. And this is part of what our company does. We're consciously aware of how we can, do the layering of products so that way they're not tainted with other vibrations. So, when you're buying a red product, you're buying something that's just the red vibration. Now, there are some tools that we put some other things in there, because then we're working physically. And when we work physically, there's reasons to why we do what we do. So for example, we have a product, Digest and Detox, that's all about supporting your digestive system. And the digestive system, the upper digestive system, is governed by the yellow energy. And so therefore, it's all about yellow, except we put a splash of black pepper in it to ignite the digestive enzymes, the digestive fuel, to really be active on that yellow nature. So sometimes there is a little bit of method to our madness, but nonetheless, probably 90% of our color energy tools are strictly just of one vibration, other than some of our therapy blends. Like I said, we might put in a supporting energy that's within the vibrational range to give it that boost in regards to the intention. But again, we work a lot with our products being one color vibration. And we give you a lot of indication of how to use the product, because obviously you can anoint the chakra with a color vibration to support it. However, you can also work putting the oil or essence on different locations. So a lot of times I'll put a red oil or red essence on the soles of my feet to get me grounded. As well, I will take our different roll-ons and roll them up my spine from the lower part of my back, literally where my tailbone is, up until the back of my head. So I'm charging my whole spine with red energy. And a lot of times when we're lethargic and tired, it's because our blood isn't circulating and getting properly to our brain. And so therefore our body gets weakened resultant of that. So we do certain things with our certain products because we want to encourage you to ensure, that success of working with our product. And I also think about this one woman who came to me, and because I work with the biopulsar reflexograph, which is a medical slash aura chakra reader, I can see the full potential of the body. And I do a lot of product testing for people. So she brought in a whole bag of products, and she brought in this one roll-on from our competitor, and it was a product to help her sleep. Now, when I do my study, I don't look at the product because I don't want to be influenced by what the product is. And this is how I've tested a lot of our product and know it works, because initially I didn't know what the results of the product would be. And then I could see on my biofeedback device that, oh, I use the red essence and my adrenals get supported. I can see that, the vitality in my hips go up. The energy in my legs get stronger. So overall, I can see how our products support you know, the different body parts, as well as, again, I can see the shift on an energy level. But with this woman, I told her to put a bunch of products into a brown paper bag, so I didn't know what the product was. And then I did product testing one at a time. And she had this essential oil blend. And when I tested this woman, her adrenals shot up, but not to a balance level. It actually went into excess, into a hyperactive level, meaning all of a sudden her adrenals were on overdrive and she was ready for the fight. And when I looked at the bottle, it said sleep formula. And I'm going, okay, is this product helping you sleep? And she goes, no, I feel more alert. And when I looked at the ingredients, according to Colour Therapy, vetiver, which was in there as one of their ingredients, it's a red vibration. So of course it wasn't helping her sleep, because it was activating her adrenals, which then created, you know, her to have more energy rather than being tired and wanting to go to sleep. And that's what, again, I assure you with Colour Energy products, our main focus is that we're creating products that are going to help you in the different areas that relate to the different imbalances on a physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual level. And we make it so our products are so easy for you to use. We have sprays that literally you just spray above your head, you know, and allow the particles of the essence or the formula to bless your physical body as well as your energetic body. And then we have other tools that you would apply directly to your physical body through, you know, putting it on different reflex points or different chakra points. And like I said, we give you a lot of suggestions on how to use our products, so this way you're applying the products properly. Because to me, knowledge is key. The more you are aware, the more conscious you are of why you would be doing these things, then the more power you're putting towards it. So even when I use a red product, if I want red for energy, then I'm going to be affirming I want that red energy for energy, versus if I need red energy to ground myself, then I'm affirming that I need that red energy to help ground myself. So again, what we want to do is we want to focus the intention of what we're doing to get to where we want to go. And going back to the whole concept of, you know, most people can't even hold a thought for 3 seconds. By doing some different rituals and putting consciousness into it, you're giving that focal point. So if you're using a red product, you know, I want you to affirm over and over and over again what you want from that product. And if you're new to Colour Energy, I also have a CD. I'm just going to go grab it. I have a CD. I have a meditation CD, which is really invaluable to learn more about the color language, because it takes you on a journey through the colors, as well as it talks about how to balance that energy center physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So this is a phenomenal CD to help gain more knowledge about color healing, but also it gives you all the information physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually to help you connect with that color. So if you're using different products of Colour Energy, then you can listen to the meditation CD and for 7 to 9 minutes, be in that color vibe. And that's really important, because if you're in the color vibe of that frequency, then you're going to gain more power out of it, because your thoughts will, action will follow your thoughts. And this is another reason why a lot of times products don't work, because if you don't believe in the product, even your consciousness or your attitude of that product can void the product out. Meaning, if you're looking at something, I don't know how that's going to work, what do you think is going to happen? It may or may not work because you don't understand how it works. So we want to give you a lot of information about the products, so you're well informed as to how you can use that product better to gain as much insight and clarity about what you're doing for your own self-healing. And then again, be on board with that 110%. So often when I do our different products, and in fact on the weekend I took an orange color bath, I was in the color water for 50 minutes. And when I was there, I was thinking about that orange vibration and what I needed it for, that I needed it to tap into some emotions and creativity and, help me on a social level, because again, sometimes my yellow gets very focused and concentrated, that I need that orange energy to give me a little bit more sociability. And because it was a long weekend, there was some things that I was doing socially, so I wanted to make sure that I was, you know, in a good mood on that level. So every morning I actually wake up and I say to myself, what energy do I need today? So this morning I put on a vibrant blue top, because to me it's important that I'm clear in my communications. I'm being honest and truthful with you, because that's what that blue energy denotes. I want to make sure that, you know, I'm giving you as much information as possible that's going to help you feel confident in, you know, working with color. And so every day I wake up and I say to myself, what color do I need to work on today? What color is important, you know, for me today? And I focus on that energy and I bring it in so many different ways. Okay. So I wanted to talk about other ways that you receive the color energy vibration. So we talked about food. So we have a product called Color Bath, and Color Bath, you're lying in a pool of colored water, and that colored water is giving you that vibration of that color frequency during that whole bathing experience. And because our body is mainly comprised of water, then by bathing in colored water, your body recognizes the element of water, because again, we're mainly comprised of water. So lying in whatever color bath that you choose, if you spend a half hour in that color bath, that's 1,800 seconds, you're programming your body, mind, and spirit. Even if your mind wanders, you're lying in that pool of color energy and reaping the benefits of that color frequency. Now, aromatherapy is another way we can bring in the color vibration. Similar to food, a lot of our plant sources are colorized. So if we look at, you know, the blue chamomile, that comes from a blue flower, and so therefore it's of the blue nature. Some plants we don't always recognize the color because of the process of photosynthesis. We see the plant as green, but there is that underlying vibration. And sometimes you can see it, like, for example, broccoli, you can see that there's a little bit of a layer of purple underneath the green. So then we can see it's more of that purple quality. So essential oils are the living essence of a plant, a herb, a flower, a tree. And so it's harvested in a way that we get the essence. And some of the essences will last hundreds of years. And in fact, they revealed in, I think it was in Egypt, where they uncovered a tomb, and in the tomb there was frankincense oil, and the frankincense oil didn't degrade in any means. So a lot of your resin oils can often last for many years without being tainted. And of course, if you expose aromatherapy to light, then it will naturally degrade faster. Most oils are put into color bottles, so you're not getting the direct sunlight, but always store your aromatherapy in cool areas away from sunlight, and you'll find that the essential oils will last a lot longer. And then of course we have, you know, from our food, but we also have plants, herbs, and you know, teas that we can drink and eat or add to our, you know, add to our food, so we're getting that plant nutrition. Other things that we can do, we can wear color therapy glasses, and this is a lot of fun for me too, because what more fun than to put on some funky glasses and just sort of see your whole world in that color. And I'm telling you, this is a lot of fun, and especially when there's a lot of light out there, you're getting the signals from the light. But if you wear regular sunglasses, you're blocking the natural light that comes to us in the form of colors. You're actually blocking out light therapy. So we should always actually expose our eyes to natural sunlight. But sometimes if we need more concentrated forms of a color, we can simply just put on the glasses. And it works very similar to being out in sunlight, but a little bit different, obviously. And then we can wear the glasses indoors and reap that benefit of that color vibration. Okay, now what other ways can we bring in colors? Oh, gemstones are another way. And, you know, so of course, by wearing gemstones, I'm wearing a quartz crystal bracelet right now because it amplifies all colors. So when you're wearing clear quartz, it actually will amp up the vibration of other gemstones you might be wearing. But nonetheless, wearing stones can be very healing because all stones come from, you know, the earth. And when they come from the earth naturally, then they hold that vibration. We carry tumbled gemstones as well. We carry some very, very refined Brazilian stones, and these Brazilian stones are harvested by crystal whisperers who gather up the stones that call out to be part of an energy healing. And so the stones come to us with, you know, with the understanding that they're going to be doing healing work. And just the way they're harvested is so ethical, and they're cut in a way to really bring in that color frequency into our body. And again, anything you guys want to learn more about, just contact our company and we can teach you more about the different things that we have. We also have, as I mentioned, the CD that has meditation on it, but also the layering of the colors that are in here are incredible. The woman who created the music put the beat of that color into each music piece. She also put in the mantra, the yantra. Literally, there's layers of a single color note, but from multi-dimensions. And, you know, this is why sometimes when I listen to music right away, I can feel what energy it is because it creates that emotional response within me. And this is what we're talking about when you're listening to music therapy. It should be creating a certain feeling within you. Otherwise it may not be doing what it's intended to do, because again, if the notes are cross-contaminated with notes from all the different colors, then you're not going to feel that power. And, you know, to me, this is really important when you're listening to any kind of, you know, chakra music or color therapy music. Also light therapy, we work with a pen light that shines light. And, you know, with the pen light, there's a lot of things that you can charge with it. So you can charge crystals with it, you can charge water with it. I even had a medical doctor tell me that if you hold our color therapy pen light to the window is like a conductor, and you can charge it with a color vibration. So then when the light comes through the window, you're charging the room with that one vibration. So I thought that was pretty amazing that he had told me that, because I never thought of that before. And of course, we can paint our atmosphere a certain color, and that will create a mood. And again, if you go on the internet, there's a lot of research that's out there that goes into you know, goes into different aspects of how that color can impact you. So for example, they know when you walk into a red room that your heart rate goes up, you'll feel warmer. And yet a room in the same temperature painted blue, you feel cooler and your heart rate goes down. So obviously there's more behind painting a room than what most people realize. And in fact, I remember I moved from one house to another house, and in the one house that I lived in, the kitchen was green in nature, and I gained weight. And when I moved into a condo that I purchased, I painted the kitchen blue and I lost weight. And I thought that was really interesting to go into the different concept of color in your decor. But yes, we can create different environments to be different colors, which will help stimulate us in different ways, which also extends into our clothing. When we wear clothing and light penetrates our clothing is like a filter, and it amplifies us with those color vibrations. So we'll feel the power of that color more so because of the color that we're wearing. And of course, if I look at you and you're wearing a certain color, then I might be more likely to feel your vibration or your mood or your, you know, energy of that color. So we have to be very, you know, aware of the different colors we may wear in certain environments. And of course, in certain cultures, you do wear certain colors based on what it is that you're doing. But to have that consciousness will help you create more of an understanding of you know, what that color power can do for you. So we talked about you can bring in color through pretty well all your different senses, through your eyes, visually seeing color. It could be the painting, you know, the color of a room or the color that you're wearing, or from sunlight, or wearing the color in front of your eyes through color therapy eyewear. You can bring in color through your sensory experience, and this is where oils and essences come into play. And of course, when you eat food, you're stimulating your sense of taste, and you can feel color as well too. And I always challenge people to try different things just to see how color responds to them. But if you take something that's blue and something red and touch both of them, they have to be the same texture, and touch both of them, you may feel the color vibration of the red item more warm to the touch versus the blue item more cold to the touch. And that's, again, what we're talking about is the vibration. The vibration can be felt through all your different senses. And of course, even by closing our eyes and visualizing the color, we can stimulate our, you know, our inner self, or inner vision, you know, our third eye, and activate it, you know, also through color. And our thoughts, our words are all color coded. So when we have a certain thought, then of course that makes us feel pardon me, when you have a certain thought that's of a color vibration, you may not see the color of the vibration, but that's what you're emitting out there. So when you buy our different tools, we also give you affirmations that you can recite that are strictly one color. So then again, you can have a greater appreciation of that color frequency by understanding the words that are behind that color. Okay, so I'm just going through the list, making sure that I covered everything. So we talked about the concept of color energy, of color intelligence. We also talked about how we formulate the different products, so they're of the true color essence. We talked about the color's effect on our body's energy centers and endocrine glands. So we covered a lot in today's training. And I hope that gives you a strong perspective of, you know, how we can use color and color energy products. Of course, I can teach for hours on this subject. In fact, I could probably talk days on every color. Literally, there's so much to learn, and through our different education programs, and we have our different color charts, and, you know, all these different tools that, you know, we can use to help you know, help us gain more knowledge and insight about color. And questions in my feed, as well as some comments. So I'll just bring that out. Somebody was asking the CD. So our website is colorenergyshop.com, and that will direct you to our retail website in your area. And I'll also send you the link, because I've got everybody's email who signed up today. So I'll send you the link for that as well. And Denise, thank you for mentioning that you've been using the Chromalight pen light on your ankle along with the chakra lights. If you're still there, I'd love to hear more.
Hi, Suzanne. Back at the end of May, I hit my ankle. Sorry.
Right.
It brings up emotions for some reason.
That's okay. Emotions are good.
It turned out to be a complicated bone contusion with severe nerve damage.
Wow.
Just from walking into a sharp corner. And that was just a walking pace. So I've been using the pen light and the chakra lights, a lot of blue to help reduce the inflammation, because red was really irritating it. So I'm like, oh wait, blue is cooling and it's inflamed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now the inflammation is down. I'm starting to use red and then calming it down after with orange or green, depending on how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing a lot of improvement. I can now wiggle my toes and move my foot around and stand on it, but not bearing any weight. So very lightweight bearing, but it's been a long journey.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to do this without the pills and stuff, because a lot of the medications they wanted to give to me have some side effects I'm not happy with.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And as everybody who knows me knows, I'm natural first, you know, do as much as we can do naturally. And you may want to do some foot soaks in salt water. because remember, we want to remineralize the area that has the inflammation to, again, reduce the inflammation and feed the nutrition to that area to help with the faster healing.
Thank you. But yeah, this thing has brought up so many emotions and so much stuff I've been working through for the last 2.5 months. So
yeah,
it's been quite the journey.
Yeah, no kidding, no kidding. Well, I'll say a prayer that your ankle heals quickly.
Thanks.
And we'll all put the blue thoughts in there for you to help with the reduction of the inflammation.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, any other messages or comments? Now, I do have a poll. This is my first course here for Colour Energy. So, you know, I always appreciate any feedback whatsoever, so I know the direction that I can head in regards to the different types of classes. So I have a couple polls here and I'm going to launch them. So this one is, how did you find the class? Just so, you know, again, I know what information that I can add to my different training. So I appreciate that. And with the next poll that I'm going to take, it's just asking you what kind of classes you'd like, because to me, there's so many different areas of color therapy that I can teach about, but I want to make sure that I'm teaching what most people are interested in. So, you know, for me, that's always, you know, nice that I'm teaching what the majority wants me to teach. This was sort of an all-rounded class where, you know, I just wanted to give you a bit of this and a bit of that, talk a little bit about the product, talk a little bit about the color concept. So thank you for joining me on that.
Susan, I have a question.
Sure.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Marvelous, marvelous. I do have a funny question. Hopefully it's not too funny.
Okay.
I was wondering, is there such a thing as getting too much color energy with those pins, like, you know, falling asleep for like 3-4 hours and it's on you?
Well, you know, it's sort of funny because I've done the extremes with color energy. You know, I've tried to OD on a lot of, you know, literally I can overdo it because that's what I do. I want to understand the power and potential of a color. So I've taken it to the extremes. Color is pretty, you know, pretty safe to use. It's the safest part of the spectral hue. So in my opinion, it's safer than, you know, ultraviolet or infrared rays. But, you know, and anybody can do color therapy. The only thing I ever heard was where somebody did a bit too much yellow, and the contraindications of yellow can be things like diarrhea, you know, and I had palpitations in my own stomach when I overdid yellow. But then I just backed off of the yellow. I mean, to me, that was something easy enough to, you know, to figure out that I was just doing too much yellow. And when I first started using the pen light, I was rubbing my hand quite a bit in this area with the pen light. I bruised it. So then I understood, you know, just make sure you don't do a lot of pressure when you're doing any kind of reflex zone therapy treatment in combination with the light therapy. But it takes a lot to feel it to the excess. But you know, we're our own best doctor in so many ways, because if you're using red and all of a sudden you find that you get a little excited or your heart rate gets up, you know, just stop using the red. You know, never use more than you should. And so usually our recommended protocols, you know, are based on what we know is sort of the norm. So when you're using the essences, you can use it 2-3 times a day. And, you know, that's exactly what, you know, what the intended use is to use it 2-3 times a day. Same with our aromatherapy products. With the light therapy, you can also do 2-3 treatments a day. There's no problem with that. I've done multiple treatments. And because I change my energy sometimes, like meaning I might need red first thing in the morning because I need to have that, you know, that vim and vigor. I need, you know, more excitement, where maybe at 6 p.m. once I'm home, I'm going, oh, you know what, I just need to veg out. I need green. I want green to just give me peace and harmony, or I want blue to quiet my mind, or, you know what, I want to meditate. I need indigo. So I will change my energy needs during the day. And so therefore, of course, when I'm doing an energy in the morning, I'm going great guns. I'm using oils and essences, wearing the glasses, doing the chromalive. I do a lot because to me, I understand the power of amplification. So the more things I do, the stronger I'm going to feel it, and the more I'm going to want to, the more it will affect me, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I mean, if you're doing the pen light with oils and essences and thoughts and affirmations, you're doing quite a bit. So just, just monitor if you start to feel a little bit, like you're getting too much of one color. How does that sound?
Excellent. I appreciate appreciate it.
Absolutely, Jerry. And then I've just launched another poll, and that's what you'd like to learn more about, because again, as much information as I can get from you in regards to what it is we do here and how we can educate you more on how to use our products or other related topics, then yeah, that would be awesome. So
Susanne?
Okay. Yes.
Hi, this is Crystal.
Hi,
And
Crystal.
I just wanted to say, yes, that CD is very valuable. I found it great. Even I listen to it in the car when I travel instead of as a meditation. And
Oh, well, thank you.
yeah, whenever I go somewhere, it's just wherever I get to, I feel very calm and uplifted. So it's like, yeah, I really enjoy it. Just thought I'd share it with the others.
Oh, I appreciate that. It's always nice to get feedback. Okay, any other questions?
Hi, Suzanne. It's nice to meet you. I just was wondering if you could comment on certification, just in terms of like, how do you call yourself a color therapist? I mean, people start working with color and then all of a sudden they're color therapists. I just wondered, I know there seems to be a discrepancy around the world as, holistic practices, etc. So if you could just comment on that, I would appreciate that.
Yeah. So we do have a color therapy certification process, and it's a 3-year program, and it's intensive studies. We don't certify anybody to be a color therapist just by taking, a course for a short duration time. So for example, our, color energy basic course, it's a wonderful self-development course. And at the end you get a certificate, but we do not call you a color therapist. We certify you that you've completed this program. That's, and it's 40 hours of study. So I'm certified by Ingerness of Norway, and I've gone through a lot of training to get to where I am. Plus I've done a lot of practical work, and that's part of, to get your credentials and to gain your experience, you have to do a lot of, therapy treatments. So our process is quite laborious if you want to get certified as a color therapist. Now, I also want to let you know that there's very few countries that recognize color therapy as a certification process, because even, throughout North America and the world, I know this is true throughout the world, that they're starting to condone energy treatments, meaning that they're no longer recognizing certain courses that they used to recognize because of, and I don't know all the politics that are behind that, unfortunately. This is a reality unless we can rally together and sign petitions that, stop, people or institutes from, banning these type of programs. But unfortunately, color therapy isn't recognized in most parts of the world. So it would be something you would be doing with family and friends as well as your own clients, but it may not be, and I don't want to say it may not be your primary business, but you may be, adding it on to other things that you're offering that could be more recognized. But because of, for example, with myself, spending 26 years of doing color therapy on myself, as well as hundreds of clients, and the amount of study and research I've done, I know that color works. There's no doubt in my mind about that. And that's what we're trying to get out there, is that color is a natural healing mode.
Well, Suzanne, I just want to say, you know who this is, Jan.
Hi, Jan.
I just want to say thank you for everything that you do. With every, I'm trying to be there with everything that you're on. You're such a wealth of knowledge, and you're so willing to share it. And every time I listen to you, I just kind of like a light bulb turns on, because there's so much information, right, that you're sharing with us. And then, like you said, a lot of us do practice a lot of different modalities. And but to hear what you're saying, also for me, like today I was like, oh yeah, that's right, I should kind of be aware of the colors of that the oils are associated with as well, right?
Yeah.
So.
And we teach a lot more in regards to the aspects of the different things that we do. So, you know, for example, Denise and yourself, you work with the light therapy as well. So you've been, you know, taking continual studies to learn more about how to apply it, but you can't take away from experience either. Book studies are great because they give you the foundation, but when people come to see me, I never know what's going to happen because everybody, and I look at it as our own color DNA is so remotely different, although we have all the colors to access. Within us are all these color vibrations and we exude all these color vibrations, but we have so many differences from, you know, our hereditary factors to where we live, you know, and cultural different. There's just so many things that defines our energy, but the universal language of light knows no boundaries, you know, and that's what I love about it. We can use light therapy or color therapy healing, and it affects all of us because we know if the liver is sick, that, you know, we can use yellow to detoxify the liver, and we can use green to stabilize it, or, you know, maybe we need to use orange because we need to, you know, flush it out. You know, there's different reasons why we would use the different colors. There's no standard. It's based on your color DNA. And that's what I'm trying to educate people about, is that we're all unique. Our color responses will even be different. And because I've taught thousands of people, what I love is when I take people on, you know, a red color experience, and I get the different stories back as to how the red color helped them. Statistical facts of the color. We know that, you know, red will do this. We know that orange will do this, but it's also interesting to me when people share their unique experiences, how much it really is that color. You know, and I know some of you have attended my 2- and 4-day workshops, you know, and you get that more so because of that fact. There's so many dimensions to us. We're pretty faceted with color.
Yep.
But,
so thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you for sharing that and having everyone hear how great I am. No. But,
you are.
well, it's from the heart. I know, and you guys know me, or some of you know me well enough that I like to joke around too, you know, and yeah, you know what, I love to teach everyone, and I'm going to teach you as much as I can. And sometimes I think I talk a lot and I don't take enough breaths, but it's because I know I'm limited with time and I just want to fill it up with as much information as possible. So yeah. Okay, anyone else? And I'm just going to continue to let you know when I'm doing other events, and you can hop on as you can. And I'll be sharing this video afterwards. I'll see what it looks like, because I might have done something wrong after all. So part 2, but whatever. It'll either be on the internet for you to review, or you'll just have to join me at another class.